Welcome, ZASLOW Show 2.0. It is a Thursday, the 4th of May. Good to have you aboard. We, of course, are a Blue Wire podcast, always presented by Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys. If you're ever in an accident, if you're dealing with a personal injury, I'm sending you to our title sponsor of ZASLOW Show 2.0, Anidjar and Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE. That's 800-747-3733. We're going to have some fun today. We have a big sports night tonight. We are marching toward a big sports weekend. We got NBA playoff basketball to keep everyone up to speed with. You know what I'm talking about. Hey, make sure you like, you rate, you comment, you do all that fun stuff. I really appreciate it. That's good for the algorithm. The algorithm's good for my show. I don't know how the algorithm exactly works, but it's good for my show. Then the show gets very, very big, very, very popular. Then everybody's happy. All right, so there you go. You can always hit me up, of course, on Twitter, at ZASLOW Show. You can hit me up on Instagram, at ZASLOWJ. We could do all that. Has everybody settled down from Game 2, the loss in New York a couple nights ago? Everyone's mad at the officiating. A lot of you are mad at Bam Adebayo. Is everyone okay after Game 2? Because the reality is, and you know this, the reality is the Heat went to New York. They got exactly what they needed. If the series was started and somebody presented you with, hey, would you take right now a 1-1 split coming down to Miami, or would you roll the dice? Rolling the dice, of course, then go 0-2. They go 2-0. Or do you take the 1-1 split? Now it's a best out of 5 with games 3, 4, and 6 in Miami. So how about this? It's a best out of 5 now. 3 of the next 4 games are in Miami. Would you take 1-1 or you roll the dice? The answer is you got to take 1-1. You have to take 1-1. So the Heat are in a great position now. Everybody knows that. But the question is, have we all settled down after the Game 2 loss? We'll return back to that. We got the Panthers tonight. Obviously, we're going to talk about that. I do want to tell you guys, so I started watching a new show. First of all, I was watching yesterday afternoon, I was watching a movie. You guys have seen this movie, right? Mad Max, Fury Road, Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron. Let me tell you something. I talked about this before when I first saw the movie years ago. I didn't watch the whole movie. I watched like 30 minutes of it yesterday. I had things to do. I'm very busy. And I've never seen a movie like this. Pretty much the entire film, the entire movie is shot like on the move, in the trucks, you know, that they're not racing around, but you understand what I'm saying if you've seen the movie, right? The entire film is shot on the move. Just non-stop action. I've never seen a movie like that. That movie is wild. I love it. I'd like to watch it again in its entirety. I've only seen its entirety one time. But man, like I said, I've never seen a movie like that. And I didn't see the original Mad Max films. Excuse me. The ones with Mel Gibson. I did not see those. I'm sure they're pretty cool. But if they're anything like this, like I said, this is a movie. I've never seen a film like this before. Tom Hardy, we like Tom Hardy a lot. Charlize Theron, obviously, even though she's got the shaved head, she's still really great to look at. I got to sit down and watch this movie in its entirety again. But I started watching a new show. You know, I have shows that I watch with my wife, shows that we can watch together. Like right now, we're watching The Diplomat. That's with Kerry Russell, Rufus Sewell. It's on Netflix. It's one of the new hot top 10 shows, all right? And we're on episode 3 right now. We like those kind of shows together. Government, that terrorism, that kind of stuff, you know? We love those type of shows. So we're watching The Diplomat together. But then I also like to have a show that I can watch on my own. I go at my own pace. You know, if I'm home in the afternoon, she's not, she's at work. I like being able to have another show. And so I started watching Welcome to Wrexham. And I'm a little bit embarrassed because, and I think I brought this up, you know what? I mentioned this on Twitter like a month or two ago. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I had never sat down to watch Welcome to Wrexham. Now, Welcome to Wrexham, it's a documentary that follows around actors Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, who buy a small football club in Wrexham, Wales, and it's their journey owning this team and trying to restore it to being like a prominent football club. They want to get promoted. We all know the way promotion and relegation works in football and soccer. I'm going to call it football because we're talking about the show, but I'm talking about soccer. I want to be all-inclusive. I know a lot about soccer, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm excluding them. But sometimes I'll use terminology like football when I'm talking about soccer, or the kit, that's their uniform, the pitch, that's the field. I don't want anyone to get confused and feel excluded, okay? So, I don't know if you know, I'm an inaugural season ticket holder for Inter Miami. And Welcome to Wrexham. It follows their journey, owning this team, buying the team, and trying to get the team promoted, trying to restore it to a very respectable football club. And it takes place in this small little town, Wrexham, in Wales, where it's like a working class town, and they love their football team. It's their lives. They love it. And they've been like in the shitter for the last however many years. They've been stuck in the league that they're in, which is below. See, this is one of the things I really love about the show. At the beginning of the show, if you're not so well versed, like, I understand how promotion and relegation works, but I don't know all the ins and outs. And they do a really great and easy job of explaining it, so you got the football pyramid, and there's the Premier League, and there's essentially 4 divisions in the EFL, the Euro Football League, the European Football League, and then underneath it is called the National League. And those are like, it's barely professional football. And that's where Wrexham AFC has been playing in for the last 15 years. They have not been able to get back to the EFL. And they do a really good job explaining how that works, because I didn't even know how all that stuff works. I love the whole relegation and demotion. It's so fascinating to me, that part of football, of soccer overseas. Like, I wish, you want to talk about trying to get teams not to tank? That's how you avoid the tanking. You got relegation. You got promotion and relegation. That's how teams don't tank. That's how you avoid. Like, can you imagine if the NFL, if the bottom, 2 teams, they have to go to the XFL. And the championship, the 2 teams that are in the championship for the XFL, they get promoted to the NFL. Can you imagine how hard everyone will play all the time to make sure you don't get demoted from the NFL to the XFL? You know how hardcore those final couple games would be for the teams that are in last place? So I love that whole idea. It's so interesting to me. But they do a really good job explaining that. And Wrexham AFC has not been in the EFL for 15 years. They've been stuck in the shitty National League. Players barely make any money. You can't get improvements to the team. It's hard to sign players then if you're not in the good league. They do a really good job explaining that. So, and each episode's 30 minutes. I think the first season out, it's 15 episodes or something. And season 2 apparently is coming out. And I decided to start watching it because in real time, the show starts right after COVID. So we're talking 3 years ago from now. But the show debuted over a year ago or something. But in real time, 2 weeks ago, Wrexham won their league. They won their league championship and secured promotion into the EFL. They're now going to play in League 2 next season. And the video was all around, and you see Paul Rudd actually filmed the video. They're watching from a suite with Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. And the emotion that they showed at the end of the game when they did what, they accomplished what they sought out to do. The crowd is rushing the field. The fans are going crazy. The players are going crazy. That they did it. They accomplished what their initial goal was. And when you're watching the beginning of this show, Welcome to Wrexham, you could see how much the fans care, and they're so down on their luck. And I can't wait to see These episodes, I don't know if it'll be included in season 2 or not, if it'll be up to speed yet, but I can't wait to see these episodes where you're going to see how the town reacts to these outsiders, these American Hollywood actors coming and buying their team and fulfilling their dreams, those fans' dreams. So I was like, I got to watch this show. This is so interesting what's happening here. And I really like it. I'm like 6 episodes in. I really like it. But the part that I'm embarrassed about, I really am. I'm so embarrassed. I never got around to, like, the show's on FX. I'm watching it on Hulu right now. But weekly it's on FX when it's premiering. And I'm embarrassed because I did not know it was a real thing. I thought it was like a mockumentary where, and you understand, like a documentary, but it's not real. They're making it look like it's real, but it's not. I thought it was like a mockumentary. And so when I started asking about Welcome to Wrexham, and I think I tweeted out, am I, I feel like I'm missing out on Welcome to Wrexham. I tweeted something like that. It's when I started to realize, oh, hold on. This is a real thing? They really own this football club in Wrexham? I had no idea. And then for the story to, it's like a movie based on what I just told you happened last week in real life and what the team was like when they took over. So I really recommend it for any of you soccer fans out there like myself. I'm embarrassed that I had not been following it and that it has taken me this long to get into it. But I really dig the show. I'm looking forward to when season 2 comes out and I can watch it in real time with everyone else. But I still got a bunch of episodes for season 1. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. I've been watching those episodes really over the last few days. Maybe last week I started to watch Welcome to Wrexham. Anyway, so before we continue on here, and let's get to Heat. All right, let's start out with the Heat. The Heat of the... Look, Panthers, come on. You know that's enormous tonight. But we're going to start out the show with the Heat. Now, I do want to tell you guys, so one of our great new sponsors is Water Cleanup of Florida, right? Look, rain and flooding has been historic lately. We know that's a big deal. If you think your home or your business has been damaged from all the flooding that we have had recently, Water Cleanup of Florida is here for you 24 hours a day. Water Cleanup of Florida, they know the impact and stress that an unexpected disaster may cause. Make sure you use local contractors like these guys, not fly-by companies from out of state. You need someone like Water Cleanup of Florida. Number one, I trust these guys, not because they're a sponsor on ZASLOW Show 2.0, but I grew up with these guys. I grew up with the Greensteins, okay? Floodwater also produces mold growth within days if you don't take care of this properly the very first time. If you and your neighbor were thinking of sweeping water out of the home or your business and just turning on ceiling fans, that's going to be a big deal, all right? Call Water Cleanup of Florida. That's not a big deal. These guys will take care of you. Call or text Water Cleanup of Florida anytime, 954-900-8635. You could also go to WCUFL.com. You can follow them on social, Facebook and Instagram. And please check out their more than 80 5-star reviews on Google and Facebook. Water Cleanup of Florida, we clean up your schmutz. Again, Water Cleanup of Florida, 954-900-8635. So, let's get to the Heat here. Has everyone calmed down after game 2? Like, I have a feeling, and I told you when, we had Evan Cohen, my pal from SiriusXM, Mad Dog Radio Morning Man, every morning, 6 to 9 a.m. Had him on the show yesterday, and he was really the first person that I talked to about this, and he feels the same way as me. I was not mad after that game 2 loss, which is crazy because as a teenager, after Heat Knicks loss, like, it's really cool to be able to experience Heat Knicks. And this does feel like Heat Knicks. Like 2013 Heat Knicks, that did not feel like Heat Knicks. The ending was inevitable. LeBron, Wade, Bosh, we were going to kill the Knicks. Confetti comes down after game 4. The Knicks avoid a sweep. That's an embarrassment. You got to live with that forever, Knicks fans. That's an embarrassment. But we all knew the inevitable in 2013, and that was the Heat winning the championship again, and the Knicks were not going to be, not even a roadblock for that year's Heat team. This feels like Heat Knicks. And you could see that here in the first 2 games where, you got walking wounded out there, man. Obviously, you got Julius Randle, who's playing through injury. Jalen Brunson, who's playing through injury. On the Heat side, Jimmy Butler plays through it at the fourth quarter of game 1, has to miss game 2. Caleb Martin's walking off the floor. He's holding his back. Max Strus had to go to the locker room for a little bit in game 2. Bam Adebayo is possibly still working through a hamstring injury. This is a battle out there. This feels like Heat Knicks. So from that aspect of it, I love what we're seeing. This is Heat Knicks. But I also have the feeling most Heat fans, like myself, are super confident going forward. Now, I know Heat in 5, that's the moniker. That's always it, right? Cocky Heat fan. Heat in 5. I was not mad after the end of last game, after game 2. And it's because seeing what I saw those first 2 games, I'm like, yeah, we're better than them. And I think also experience probably plays a big role. This Heat team, they know, in the NBA playoffs, you usually have to go through growing pains. You got to go through some heartbreak before you make a big run. This Knicks team has no experience yes, Jalen Brunson last year got to the West Finals with Dallas. He was not the leading man. He was terrific, don't get me wrong. But this Knicks team only has a couple players, like Jalen Brunson's been to the West Finals. Derrick Rose, who never plays, has been to the East Finals. But otherwise, everyone else, there isn't any real experience. The Miami Heat have a lot of experience. A handful of these guys were in the finals in 2020. Almost all of these guys were in East Finals Game 7 last year. They have a champion on the team. Even though I don't like them, they have a champion on the team in Kyle Lowry, who has an incredible amount of playoff experience. This Heat team is super experienced, and I think that's probably why I was expecting there to be a bit of a human nature element for Game 2, where not that the Heat were going to fold, but I could have seen the Heat losing that game by double figures, trailing the whole way. You took Game 1, no Jimmy Game 2, but no, this Heat team, which is the exact opposite from the Heat team that we saw in the regular season, they know an opportunity is right in front of them, and they've taken advantage of these opportunities in the postseason. The regular season Heat team, this year's regular season Heat team, they never took advantage of opportunities. This postseason Heat team, they love taking advantage of opportunities. And you saw that in the first round. Game 3 and Game 4, especially Game 4, but Game 3 and Game 4, you have an opportunity here. Win your home games, protect your home courts, go up 3-1, put yourself in a situation where you can win this series. And then you know what? They looked at Game 5 and said, hey, we don't even care that we're in Milwaukee now. This is an opportunity to end the series. And they took it. And then you see in the second round, you get to Game 2. The Heat are already up 1-0. I thought there was going to be a human nature element that intervened. But no, even without Jimmy, those guys who have experience, they said, you know what? This is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to steal both games on the road. Let's get it. You had some bad luck with the officiating, and the Heat couldn't make shots down the stretch when the Knicks did. So there you go. It's 1-1. But this Heat team so far this postseason, 5-2 overall, this Heat team so far this postseason, 2-0 at home, this Heat team so far this postseason has taken advantage of opportunities. And I fully expect them to win both games at home. Saturday afternoon, Monday night, I think we go back to New York 3-1 Heat. The same way we went back to Milwaukee 3-1 Heat. Hey, any Heat loss to the Knicks back from 97 to 2000, I was a disaster until the next game, until the next win. Now, maybe there's a difference there between being a teenager and being an adult. I was 16 through 19, all of those series. I'm 42 years old now. So being an adult plays a part. But I think also, after watching these two games, like, I really don't understand anyone who has watched these two games and has come away impressed with the Knicks. I think you watch these two games and you come away impressed with the Heat. The only way you come away impressed with the Knicks is if they won both those games and protect their home court. I think you come away these two games impressed with the Heat. Obviously impressed with their performance in the second half of Game 1. And Game 2, leading almost the entire way, getting screwed twice in the fourth quarter, and almost winning that game without Jimmy Butler. I don't know how you watch these two games. Look, you're a delusional Knicks fan. I get it. I don't know how you watch these two games and feel good about that Knicks Game 2 win. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think most Heat fans, like myself, come away from these two games and say, yeah, Jimmy's going to return Saturday, and we're taking that ass Saturday afternoon. And then after we take that ass Saturday afternoon, we're going to take that ass Monday night also. Now, I'm listening this morning, and by the way, if you need new sheets for your bed, or if you don't like your current sheets, go to Sheets and Giggles, sheetsgiggles.com, use promo code HEAT, and you're going to get a big discount upon checkout. Sheetsgiggles.com/ZASLOW, one of our great new sponsors here on ZASLOW Show 2.0, the ZASLOW family. We love our bedding from Sheets and Giggles. We are four of over 100,000 Americans that are now sleeping on Sheets and Giggles. They were featured a couple weeks ago on Good Morning America. That's right. Naturally softer, cooler, more breathable sheets. The comforter, it's my all-time favorite comforter. It's so soft. I got a eucalyptus pillow, which I love as well. Hey, maybe you want to try out their eucalyptus mattress. Also, waterproof eucalyptus mattress protector. And the best part, my man Colin, he's the founder and CEO of Sheets and Giggles. He cares about how you sleep, but also cares about the environment. And they're using hypoallergenic, zero static, lower surface friction than cotton, sustainably made from the wood of eucalyptus trees grown on sustainably managed biodiverse farms. So you're getting a great sleep, and we're also taking care of the environment. Sheets and Giggles, you're never going to shop anywhere else for your bedding. Sheetsgiggles.com, sheetsgiggles.com/ZASLOW. Use promo code HEAT upon checkout. You don't have to thank me, all right? You're going to sleep better. That's all I want for you. All right. So I'm listening this morning. You guys know I listen every morning. I listen to Sirius XM. I listen to Morning Men on Mad Dog Radio. And I listen to the starting lineup, Frank Isola, Brian Scalabrine, on Sirius XM NBA Radio. And they had Alan Hahn this morning on from MSG Network. He was on our show a few weeks ago. Does the Knicks games. And they're talking Heat Knicks, what's Game 3, what's going to happen moving forward. And Alan Hahn made the comment where, home court advantage in Miami, it's like MSG South. And I'm like, I mean, maybe it used to be like that. It's not like that anymore. Like, there's going to be a lot of Knicks fans there, but it's not MSG South. It's not 50-50. I mean, Knicks games at the Garden. Now, this wasn't going to happen in the playoffs because you had like a real raucous Garden crowd now in the postseason. The team is good. But for like the last 10 years, Heat games at the Garden, you get the Let's Go Heat chant every single game at the Garden. You don't get Let's Go Knicks in Miami. You don't. It's not 50-50. It's not MSG South. There will be a lot of Knicks fans. I would say get 25 to 30% Knicks fans, and that's a lot. But it ain't MSG South, and it's not a 50-50 split, and it's not some kind of home court advantage for the Knicks. Like, not even close. So I got to point that out. I got to disagree. And that's not fair. And by the way, I know you all saw in Game 1, all the Knicks fans leaving early. 5 minutes ago, Heat up by 10. I know you all saw the Knicks fans. What is the Mecca? It's the Mecca. The greatest fans. I know you all saw the Knicks fans leaving early. Come on, be fair. Be fair. But it is not MSG South. Come on. It's going to be a raucous crowd there on Saturday afternoon. Monday night, the Heat are going up 3-1. Believe that. That's right. That's right. So let's do some NBA here. And the big story right now in the NBA is off the court. It's what's going on with Dillon Brooks. So Shams Charania sent out the tweet. Yes, actually, I think it was 2 days ago. Shams Charania sent out the tweet, and it was like 2 days after the Grizzlies were eliminated, right, by the Lakers. Shams Charania sends out the tweet that Dillon Brooks, and here's the part, it's not that Dillon Brooks is not expected to return to Memphis. That's fine. If they don't want to keep him, okay. If they don't like everything that took place in the postseason, him and LeBron, all the talking, he disappeared in the playoffs. Maybe there's unprofessional behavior going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And they clearly need a culture change there, which I really think that Ja Morant is at the forefront of. Now, they're not going to get rid of Ja Morant, but that scenario is clearly at the forefront of the culture change that the Memphis Grizzlies need. Because that was a fun, likable team a couple years ago. And now, holy shit, they are so unlikable. And Ja Morant seems like he might be a bad dude. So, Shams Charania tweets out, Dillon Brooks, quote, will not be brought back under any circumstances. Again, Dillon Brooks will not be brought back under any circumstances. I've never seen anything like that. For a couple reasons. And that part is especially cold. It's all right if they don't want to bring him back, but to not be brought back under any circumstances. Shams Charania is not making that part up. At least I wouldn't think he is. Someone, whatever his source is, someone is telling him he will not be brought back under any circumstances. If the source says that to Shams Charania, there is a purpose, there is a reason why they are including under any circumstances. They are trying to let it be known how much they are disappointed in Dillon Brooks. How much they don't want him back. And does that mean they're making him out to be a scapegoat? A little bit. That's what it seems like. But that's purposeful, saying will not be brought back under any circumstances. I've never heard of anything like that for a couple reasons. Number one, we're in May. We still have the playoffs going on. Their series just ended. And for that to get out immediately after their playoff ended, I've never seen anything like that. And number two, the whole under any circumstances, now Dillon Brooks not a bad player. He's not that good, but he's not a bad player. Like, if Dillon Brooks said, I love Memphis, I love this team, I'm willing to play here for the minimum, he will not be brought back under any circumstance, you wouldn't bring Dillon Brooks back on a minimum contract. That's crazy to me. They are that upset with him. Like, Dillon Brooks, on whatever contract he would want, is probably not going to be a good value, but Dillon Brooks on a minimum contract is an amazing value. You wouldn't bring him back under that circumstance? So to let it be known that they will not bring Dillon Brooks back under any circumstances, I've never heard anything like that. And I feel like Dillon Brooks just became Freddie Mitchell. You remember Freddie Mitchell, right? Wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're talking like almost 20 years ago, where he had a really big game. After the game, I want to thank my hands today. They were like, he was a below average receiver who had a moment, right? And then you had Bill Belichick, who crushed him, where he was asked, what did you make of Freddie Mitchell's performance? And Bill Belichick showed you how much disdain there is for this Freddie Mitchell out there, said, I liked when he was in the game. He's a terrible receiver. And you never heard from Freddie Mitchell again. Like, essentially was balled from the league. I feel like Dillon Brooks is about to get the Freddie Mitchell treatment, where he had a moment, decent player, then went a little bit too far with the LeBron stuff, and now the Grizzlies did the Bill Belichick thing. Belichick said, I liked when he was in the game. He's a terrible player. And the Grizzlies are telling everybody, we will not bring this guy back under any circumstances. Does he get balled from the league? Probably not. But I think this really, really hurts his free agency. That's a bad thing. That some source told Shams Charania, not only are the Grizzlies not going to bring back Dillon Brooks, but they're not going to bring him back. This is a major sticking point under any circumstances. That's wild, man. I've never seen anything like it. So, another thing. So last night, Celtics even their series at a game apiece. I shut the game off once the lead got to like 27. Late in the third quarter, it goes 92-65. I'm done with this shit. And so the Celtics run away with it. Jason Tatum did nothing. Played 19 minutes. They get 7 points. Big game out of Jaylen Brown. Big game out of Derek White. Joel Embiid did return. But why are we asking if Joel Embiid should have played game 2? He's not 100%. They got smoked. Of course he should have played. Like when I was a kid, and I hate doing the, back in my day thing. But can you imagine when we were growing up and watching the NBA in the 90s, even early 2000s? Can you imagine a player's hurt, he's hurting, and saying, he shouldn't play. He should sit. You play. You play hurts. That's what stars do. It's being a superstar is when you could be great in the perfect situations, and you're also there in the not so perfect situations, performing there as well. Should Joel Embiid played game 2? If nothing else, he absolutely should have played last night because, hey, it's house money. Let's knock some of the rust off. He hadn't played in 2 weeks. Let's knock some of the rust off in a game that's house money. Rather than hold him out again, it's 1-1, and then he knocks the rust off in game 3 at home, a game you need to win. No, let him knock the rust off in game 2. You lose that game? Okay. Hopefully he'll be ready for game 3, which I think is tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I don't get the whole attitude of, let's sit him for this game. Yeah, I know it's a playoff game, but this way he could rest and he'll be ready for this game. Oh, what about Jimmy Butler? Jimmy Butler's not resting. Jimmy Butler's hurt. And he'll be there game 3 on Saturday. But Embiid played. He's knocking off the rust. He hasn't played in 2 weeks. Why would anyone think he shouldn't have played last night? He's clearly capable of playing. Is he 100%? No. But that's sometimes how you got to go about it in the postseason. You're not going to be 100%. Things are not going to be 100%. Hey, guys. You're going to be sitting around tonight. You're going to be watching the games. Be watching the Panthers. You want to get loose a little bit. You want to sit back. Just enjoy a nice drink. You know I'm talking about the official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0. Grab yourself a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba, European roots with a Caribbean soul, a refreshing German lager in a can. You pick up a 6-pack right now at your local Sedano's, Presidente, Winn-Dixie, Fresco y Mas. I love having a 6-pack of Johnny in my fridge. Whenever there's a game going on, I walk on over there, and I can always drink responsibly when I'm sitting on my couch in the ZASLOW Mansion family room, all right? Don't go pick up a 6-pack of Johnny Cuba. You're going to tell me, ZASLOW, it's so delicious. I can't believe I never tried Johnny Cuba until you're telling me about the official beer of ZASLOW Show 2.0. And, of course, don't forget Johnny Cuba's mantra, stay tranquilo. All right, so tonight, Lakers, Warriors, 9 p.m. You like that? Thank you for not giving us a 10:30 start. It's the only game, so a 9 p.m. start, which is what all those West Coast games in the postseason should be. Lakers at Warriors. Now, this Warrior team, they already lost home court advantage. They've been a terrible road team all year. Now, they did a good job on the road in the first round, right? They won games 3 and 4 in Sacramento, right? and then they lost game 5 at home. No, hold on. They lost the first 2 games in Sacramento. That's right, the Kings had home court advantage. So they lost those first 2 games in Sacramento, and then they won game 5 in Sacramento to win 3 straight. They lost game 6 at home. They won game 7 in Sacramento. So they've been a terrible road team throughout the year, but did excellent on the road in round 1, winning games 5 and 7 in blowout fashion in Sacramento. So yes, this Warrior team can win on the road, but you can't go down 2-0. You can't. Like, at worst, LeBron and the Lakers would get a split, games 3 and 4 in LA, and I don't see LeBron blowing a 3-1 lead. Tonight is really close to a must-win game for the Golden State Warriors. So, good NBA drama tonight. NBA play has been really good. Really, really good. Good NBA drama tonight. That's at 9 o'clock this evening. Hey guys, I already told you about water cleanup of Florida earlier in the show. If you got water damage, mold, fire damage in your home. But if you get any kind of damage in your home, you need to make sure that you have insurance. If you don't know who to call, you don't know where to go, it's great that you're listening to the show right now. One of our OG original sponsors of ZASLOW Show 2.0. I've been using Brunt Insurance for about 10 years now to get me coverage for my home. So I go to sleep at night knowing, God forbid I have major damage to my home, I'm insured. I'm not going to go bankrupt. I'm going to have it covered. Brunt Insurance, bruntinsurance.com, 954-589-2204, wherever you're calling from in Florida. Because you ZASLOW Show 2.0 listeners, some of you are listening in Central Florida. Some of you are listening in Northern Florida. From Pensacola all the way down to the Keys and beyond. Brunt Insurance is delivering that comprehensive insurance that is tailored exactly to your needs. You're going to tell them what kind of home you have. Hey, maybe you only rent. Maybe you have a condo. Not just homeowners insurance, renters insurance, condo insurance. Do you need flood insurance? Brunt Insurance, the staff is fully licensed. They know whatever area you're calling from. Maybe you need car insurance. Maybe you need boat, motorcycle insurance. The only insurance agency I use is the only one that I trust. Like I said, I've been having my homeowner's insurance with them for 10 years now. If I want to get Greg Brunt, the man himself, on the phone right away, I could talk to him. 954-589-2204, bruntinsurance.com. Again, 954-589-2204.